For more on this, let's bring in America's accountant, Dan Geltrude. Dan, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Dan, let's start with saving for retirement. That's really difficult for people to do, especially now when they're living paycheck to paycheck because of inflation. How can people best save for their golden years?
Well, the thing is I tell young people, please put away as much as you possibly can afford for retirement. Why? Because time is on your side. That gives your money, those investments, a long time to grow. So whatever it is, no matter how small, start saving for retirement today. On the other side of this, though, when you're in retirement, that's where you need to be careful because time is not on your side. What do I mean by that? You want to avoid making any big mistakes because, again, you don't have enough time to make up for that. So it's the exact opposite approach. You put more away when you're young and you can take some risks as opposed to when you're older and in retirement. You got to make sure you're taking a conservative approach with your investments. Don't get caught up with the fear of missing out on the market. We see it's volatile. You want to make sure you protect yourself against any big losses.
Yeah, you know, we always talk about this, and it's always, you know, when I was young, people told me the same thing, and I was like, oh, all those old people with money are telling me to do this. So, you know, it's a difficult thing, but, you know, you talk about investing and stuff like that, but also, I mean, there's a real, I'm not saying it's definite, but there's a real possibility that Social Security is not around when my kids are of retirement. It might, you know, not even, but I'm 38. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, if we keep spending like this, but investing, you know, without giving exact investing advice, what kind of percentages should you be investing? Because people say, oh, I only have $1,000 here or $100 there. Like, how do people get into that? Are there any places they can go to look for stuff like this?
Well, you know what it really comes down to, Carl, is how much can you afford to lose? How much is your risk tolerance, right? So if you're younger and you have risk tolerance, then you're going to want to put your investments more in stocks, in equities. Play that market. It's fine. You have the time. Of course, as you're aging, as I said before, that's where you're going to want to have more diversity and start to look at investments that perhaps are going to pay dividends. You're going to look at some bonds, so you're getting a steady flow of interest income. So it really goes to the individual person, their risk tolerance, and where can they put their money in terms of safety and risk.
All right, Dan, I know you say start young, but what if you didn't, right? So somebody like me who maybe, you know, worked part-time so I could
Alison's
stay home.
29 again.
I'm 29, yes. So you can stay home with your kids, and somebody maybe who just didn't have the resources and now they're in their 40s saying, uh-oh, like I need to start putting money away. Is there still time, you know, for people in their 40s to actually be able to save money and be able to retire?
Of course there is. Look, as the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree 20 years ago, second best time today.
Okay.
So it's never too late to start that process, Allie. So although you look 29, but you still have to act like you're 29 when it comes to putting money away for retirement. The thing is that the older you are when you start to save for retirement, the more you need to put away to be able to have an adequate nest egg for retirement. Keep in mind, when you're in retirement, what happens? Your income levels go down. That's expected. However, you want to adjust your expenses to go down with them. The problem is the real big cost in retirement relates to health care. And we know how high those costs are going to go and continue to go year after year. So it's a really tough situation.
Yeah. Well, Social Security, real quick. We were talking about, you know, the fact that it may not be around forever. My parents, they're getting to retirement age. My dad is like, look, I'm going to work till I die because I don't want to be bored at home, and I can only play so many rounds of golf. And he can do that. My mom's, you know, kind of the same thing, but she's like, look, I want to have some more time. What do you say to somebody who's like on the cusp of applying for Social Security at 65 versus 75? Should people push it out as long as possible? What do you think?
Yeah, they really should. Look, what I tell people is this. Don't apply for Social Security until you need to. And let me just throw some numbers at you. When you're 62, if you decide to retire at 62 and collect Social Security as opposed to waiting for 66, you're going to get 25% less. You would get 32% less if you waited to age 70. So the longer you wait, the greater your payments are going to be from Social Security. So again, if you don't have to use or collect Social Security, hold off and maximize the payments that you're going to receive.
Great advice. All
Mom.
right. I love it. Listen. All right, so I'll start saving on my 30th birthday for retirement.
Exactly.
Dan,
That's a good idea.
There you go.
Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.